Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm Justina Ovatt, and I'm a teacher. So it is from that point of view that I'm going to uh, be discussing today. And as the teacher that I am, I'm going to share my screen because I need you to see. Please confirm you can see this. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. I can see.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much. So yes, we're talking festivals, culture, and the rest of it. But me, I'm a teacher, and I attend the festivals that I can, within the time that I have, and I do enjoy them a lot. As a matter of fact, Mfon's presentation has made me think more that I should make more effort in attending festivals, which I will do. But my presentation today is actually, when we talk about festivals, we always only look at the other kind of infrastructure and different other things that are called with festivals. But I am posing a different question today. So how do we ensure Nigerian festivals remain relevant, authentic, and economically viable for the next 50 years? And Mfon's challenges that she had seen in the festivals speaks to this because nobody is looking at this part of festival celebration. They just doing the fanfare. Everybody come and dress up, do this. But within their organization and the arrangement, there are a lot of things that are not being addressed. And if they keep not being addressed, well, festivals will go on, but people like Infon and other people who work within this ecosystem will continue facing these challenges because of these issues that are not being, talked about. So the missing point is that when we talk about conversations in the festivals, tourism in Nigeria, most of the time we're talking infrastructure, we're talking marketing, we're talking funding, policy, security. But sustainability, of all of this depends on knowledge transfer. So while we put up the infrastructure, market these festivals, look for money to fund them, set up all of those things, the question is, when this set of people leave, and we know the problem in Nigeria regarding continuity, it is a major issue when it comes to everything in Nigeria. So was my own contribution to this panel is that, or this discussion, is that we need to make deliberate effort for transfer, for knowledge transfer, when it has to do with festivals in Nigeria. So my key proposition is that festivals survive when knowledge survives. So sustainable tourism requires documentation. And you saw that Mfon spoke before me, so I'm going to be referencing her presentation a lot. She mentioned documentation, that there is no documentation when it comes to festivals, and that's a critical point there. And there's also no education, and then mentorship, skills development, cultural preservation. Beyond the fanfare, when the event is over, what has been put together for somebody who did not attend or who wants to attend subsequently to know what's the education that comes with it for tourists and for the community and for even the organizers, for posterity, for sustainability, what is available to educate the people, how we mentoring people. I've heard a lot of controversy. I'm sure all of you too have heard it. Oh, this woman in this Ojudoba, she should not be smoking cigar. Is it because the other man smoked? Some people say, that is not a good thing for womanhood. Motherhood is ashamed of you. Different kinds of things. So who is telling the next people coming that if you're coming for a cultural festival, just as Mfon mentioned, somebody said, you can't sit here. If those kind of education or things are out there, she would know and go equipped. And that's the thing about culture. You go most times without any knowledge, and begin. And if there's someone to teach you, they will teach a lot and you move on from there. So I have case studies for why learning and development or transfer of knowledge is important for tourism and festivals in Nigeria. Well, I consider Carnival Calabar to be a festival, and I actually checked Google, and it said yes, it was a festival. So I referenced it. So you can see the achievement of Carnival Calabar, there is hardly anybody who doesn't do. As a matter of fact, it is one of our bragging rights in Calabar. Somebody says, "Oh, you're from Calabar. I've attended the carnival. Oh, I want to attend the carnival. Oh, I've never attended." So you have something to discuss with somebody. You know, almost like a conversation starter. You know, so the economic impacts are there. People can talk about that. Everybody knows that. But there are learning opportunities that have to come with that. Event management training. I have worked with the Carnival Commission to do an entrepreneurship training for people who work with the carnival. That has been done in the past. So there's volunteer development. People have to learn how those things are done. Everything doesn't have to be paid for. So we say volunteer for experience so that you know, come into the system, you already understand how it works. Then there is costume design workshops, you know, cultural performance, academy, and tourism enterprise in our festing them going forward. The second one is the Ojudoba Festival. You know, the strength lies around strong cultural identity, community, youth engagement, cultural documentation, heritage education, tourism skills training. So these are things that should go hand in hand with this. If they are being done, wonderful. If they are not, these things need to be looked into. And if they are doing it already, let other festivals, you know, communities learn from them and see what's working, you know, and then also imbibe, you know, or copy, whatever the case may be. And the third one I'm going to reference is the Oshun Oshogbo Festival. You know, UNESCO recognized heritage, spiritual, cultural significance, international tourism appeal, you know. So, but the learning needs here are the cultural education programs, heritage interpretation training, digital archives, youth cultural preservation initiatives. Because if you look at photos, I looked at so many photos in the Oshun Oshogbo Festival. Look at this one here. The first thing that comes to mind, what is she carrying? Why is she carrying it? Where is she taking it to? What's the significance? So what's the interpretation, you know, of these things? What is the interpretation? Where do we go to find them? Who can tell us what they are? You know. So if people, the younger generation, that these things are documented, systems are put in place, policies are set up, then the sustainability of festivals beyond the fanfare and the razzmatazz, then the content, the real content of the festival remains. Most times you attend events or festivals and people will tell you that, well, the costumes were nice, but the real essence wasn't there. So it's been watered down because transfer of knowledge isn't taking place. And that is very important. So what happens when knowledge transfer doesn't happen? You know, there's loss of traditions, you know, there's weak succession planning, there's reduced authenticity, declining visitor experience, and economic decline also, because the value chain will not even be tapped. There are times that I go for events and I am talking about the industry, and people are surprised that this is in tourism, this is possible, you know. So the value chain is not tapped, and there's definitely going to be decline in the economic value and importance of that festival in that particular community. So it's very important that there's deliberate, you know, architecture for learning towards sustainability of festivals. But again, what will happen if this goes on is that there's going to be strong cultural preservation, better visitor experience, skilled festival workforce, community empowerment, sustainable tourism growth. Everybody wants this. Everybody gets involved. Tourism should be wheeled into being. And if we're going to wheel it into being, there are various factors. And most of these factors comes with learning, comes with training, comes with knowledge transfer. Let everybody know their contribution to tourism. You know, we know that most times tourism sites, you know, and these festivals are owned by traditional, you know, villages right inside, not in the city center. But people who they come to dance, they don't even know that the things that they have should be sold. They don't know how to translate or convert things that they have into economic advantage. But knowledge transfer, you know, is going to be something that will be very useful for them to be able to sustain their tourism, or their site, their heritage, their culture, everything comes with knowledge transfer. So this is like my recommendation now. So this is me recommending and saying what we need to do, we need to have a festival learning ecosystem, because every major festival should include, I have now designed a festival learning model. Don't blame me. I'm currently doing a master's in curriculum and teaching. So I convert everything to learning. So I've unconsciously designed a learning architecture or a curriculum for festivals, right? So we're saying, let's foster cultural knowledge. Everybody has to know. You don't come from my community. I know more about my community. But for me to interest you to come to my community and enjoy and experience what I have, I need to make you know what I have. It is in knowing that the interest comes in. And then we need to engage youth participation. Otherwise, there will be nobody for succession planning. The youth will come for the fanfare. They want to dress the best way, bring the best cigars, but they will get into places they should not get into because they do not have the knowledge of how it works. They will be adding to the steez, but they are not adding to the cultural value. They will rather take away, and even mess it up in most cases. And then we have the S for strengthen community ownership. Yes, let the community know that you own this infrastructure, you own this site, you own this culture, you own everything, and there are things that you are expected to do to keep it running. And then train tourism professionals. It is a very good way for other tourism professionals to know. As a matter of fact, it will get more people into the industry and get them in the right way, so that we don't keep trying to clean up people's messes, as we do in current times. So people come in the right way with the right knowledge to do the things in which to fill in gaps that are, that have been created for one reason or the other. So we have deliberate professionals coming into the industry and participating in festivals and tourism for the greater good. And then we have institutionalized documentation. This is going to help somebody like Mfon. Mfon's job will be very easy going forward. So there's an archive where she can go and, or repository where she can add to or take from for the benefit of whatever it is that she's doing. And it's going to help her and also help tourists and definitely ultimately also help the community. Then the other one is V, which is value heritage assets, right? We need to value what we have. Don't go into a community, see something that's interesting, and the next thing you want to do is to buy it and take it away. When you take it away, how will people come back to that community to see it? So let's contribute. There is a saying that if you go to a destination, you should take away only memories and photographs and leave behind only footprints. We need to put those in. That's responsible and sustainable tourism. We need to teach our communities. We need to teach our tourists, because most times, if you do not educate tourists, they will embarrass themselves, endanger themselves, and even embarrass and endanger you also. So there is a need for deliberate tourism education for practitioners, professionals, and tourists alike. Let them know what they're going into, where they are going into, and how those assets, must be valued and appreciated. Then second to the last is archive indigenous knowledge. Yes, the older people are dying off. If we are not archiving, what happens, then the people who are coming up, who are taking over, will not have enough knowledge to sustain whatever festival, whatever event, or whatever package, destination, location, or event, or festival. So there's like dire and very serious need for us to archive indigenous knowledge. And the last one in the learning ecosystem is leverage learning for sustainability. So let's make, in Nigeria, they say if you want to hide, or there's a saying that if you want to hide something from an African, you should put it inside a book, because our learning and reading culture isn't very solid. But we can make deliberate attempts. At the ADCON meeting yesterday, when I was giving the keynote, I had said the importance of everybody understanding the need to learn. That's important. The need to learn is something that is missing. We know, let's not just say, come and learn, but what's the need for me? Why do I have to learn? So if we do this deliberately in communities with people who organize festivals so that they can trickle it down the ecosystem, let everybody understand that bring knowledge, add to the body of knowledge, and then take from the body of knowledge as much as possible, because these are the things, or some of the things, that will contribute majorly to our festivals. So the economic impact is that learning creates new jobs. People are going to have more jobs because of the expansion in the ecosystem. There's going to be new tourism businesses, better visitor satisfaction, stronger destinations, and then increased revenue will also come to us. So that's the impact that comes with knowledge transfer. So conclusively, it is very important that we do more than celebrations in festivals, right? Let's turn them into a classroom of culture where everybody is learning something. But in most cases, people don't even know what they should be learning. So we need to point them towards it. Oh, come here. If you come to this area, this is what you're going to learn. If you participate in this part of the festival, this is what you're going to learn. So make it more like, when you go for conferences, there are different things that you learn. You can join breakout sessions and the rest. So these are things that can be inculcated into festivals. We're not saying do breakout sessions. We're saying do cluster of interesting things that are learning moments for people and learning moments for participants, for revelers, for tourists, for even those who work, in the tourism sector or the organizers of the tourism. Then everybody is going to be good for it and will be happy to continue sustaining the tourism. So, ladies and gentlemen, while we celebrate, while we do all the jamborees and everything, please, it is my utmost appeal that as the teacher that I am, we need to ensure that knowledge transfer is happening consistently while we celebrate and enjoy ourselves for the purpose of sustainability. So my own contribution to the new pathway for tourism and festivals in Nigeria is learning and development, which must be inculcated into this. Thank you all very much. I hope I didn't exceed my time.